Imagine waking up in the dead of night. You can't move a muscle. You try to speak, but no sound comes out. You feel a crushing pressure on your chest, a presence in the room. This is sleep paralysis, a terrifying experience that leaves you feeling helpless and afraid. Sleep paralysis is a sleep disorder that affects millions of people worldwide. It is a temporary inability to move or speak that occurs during the transition between sleep and wakefulness. While it is not life-threatening, it can be deeply unsettling and often triggers intense fear and anxiety. The experience can vary from person to person. Some people only experience paralysis, while others report vivid hallucinations and a sense of impending doom. This terrifying combination of physical immobility and sensory hallucinations can make sleep paralysis feel like a real-life nightmare. For many, the experience is so unsettling that it leads to a fear of going back to sleep. The memory of the paralysis, the inability to breathe, and the feeling of dread can linger long after the episode has passed. This fear can significantly impact sleep quality and overall well-being. Sleep paralysis occurs during a stage of sleep known as rapid eye movement, REM sleep. This is the stage of sleep where we experience our most vivid dreams. During REM sleep, our brains are highly active, but our muscles are temporarily paralyzed. This paralysis prevents us from acting out our dreams and injuring ourselves. Sleep paralysis happens when we become aware of this muscle paralysis while we are still in a dreamlike state. Our minds are awake, but our bodies are still asleep. This disconnect between our mind and body is what creates the terrifying sensations of being trapped and unable to move. During sleep paralysis, the line between dreaming and wakefulness becomes blurred. The hallucinations and feelings of fear are thought to be remnants of dream imagery bleeding into our waking consciousness. Our brains struggle to make sense of this unusual state, leading to further anxiety and panic. Understanding the science behind sleep paralysis can be the first step in overcoming the fear associated with it. Recognizing that it is a common, temporary, and harmless physiological phenomenon can help to alleviate some of the anxiety surrounding the experience. I woke up in the middle of the night and I couldn't move. I felt like someone was sitting on my chest, suffocating me. I tried to scream, but nothing came out. It was the most terrifying experience of my life. Sarah, 28. Personal testimonies like Sarah's offer a glimpse into the subjective experience of sleep paralysis. They highlight the intense fear, helplessness, and disorientation that often accompany the episodes. These accounts humanize the disorder, reminding us that it is a real and frightening experience for many. I used to get sleep paralysis all the time in college. I would see shadows moving in my room and feel like someone was watching me. I was terrified to go to sleep, and it started affecting my grades and my social life. John, 24. John's story illustrates how sleep paralysis can impact various aspects of a person's life, from their mental health to their academic performance. The fear of experiencing another episode can lead to sleep deprivation, anxiety, and social isolation. These personal accounts emphasize the importance of understanding and addressing sleep paralysis. They remind us that behind the science and statistics are real people who are struggling with a debilitating and often misunderstood sleep disorder. To understand sleep paralysis, we need to delve into the fascinating world of sleep science. Our sleep-wake cycle is regulated by a complex interplay of neurochemicals and brain regions. During REM sleep, our brains are buzzing with activity, almost as active as when we are awake. One crucial neurotransmitter involved in REM sleep is acetylcholine. It plays a vital role in dream production and muscle atonia, the temporary paralysis of our muscles during REM. In sleep paralysis, it is believed that the brain's switch for turning off muscle atonia malfunctions. We wake up while our muscles are still under the influence of acetylcholine, leading to paralysis. Brain imaging studies have shown distinct patterns of activity during sleep paralysis episodes. The amygdala, the brain's fear center, shows heightened activity, explaining the intense feelings of terror and panic. Simultaneously, the prefrontal cortex, responsible for rational thought and decision-making, shows decreased activity, making it difficult to reason through the experience. This neurological tug-of-war between the amygdala and the prefrontal cortex contributes to the feeling of being trapped in a nightmare. Understanding these brain mechanisms can help us approach sleep paralysis with less fear and more scientific curiosity. Section 5, Stress, Genetics and Other Culprits. Unraveling the causes. While the exact causes of sleep paralysis remain elusive, researchers have identified several factors that can increase the likelihood of experiencing it. Stress, for example, plays a significant role. When we are stressed, our sleep-wake cycle is disrupted, making us more vulnerable to sleep disturbances like sleep paralysis. Genetics also seem to play a part. Studies have shown that sleep paralysis can run in families, suggesting a genetic predisposition. However, more research is needed to identify the specific genes involved. Other factors that have been linked to sleep paralysis include sleep deprivation, irregular sleep patterns, and inadequate sleep can increase the risk. Mental health conditions such as anxiety disorders, depression, and PTSD are often associated with sleep paralysis. Certain medications, particularly those that affect sleep-wake cycles, can trigger episodes. Substance abuse, including alcohol and drug use, can disrupt sleep and increase the likelihood of sleep paralysis. By understanding these risk factors, individuals can take proactive steps to manage their sleep hygiene, reduce stress, and address any underlying mental health concerns. Section 6. Cultural myths and monsters, sleep paralysis across the globe. Sleep paralysis is a universal phenomenon experienced by people across cultures and throughout history. However, cultural interpretations and explanations for this strange sleep experience vary widely. In many cultures, sleep paralysis is attributed to supernatural beings or malevolent spirits. In Japanese folklore, the kanashibari is a creature that sits on people's chests while they sleep, causing paralysis and nightmares. In Newfoundland, Canada, the old hag is a witch-like figure believed to sit on people's chests, causing difficulty breathing and a feeling of dread. These cultural myths and legends, while often terrifying, reflect the human need to explain the unexplainable. They highlight the power of sleep paralysis to evoke fear and inspire storytelling. Understanding these cultural interpretations can help us appreciate the diverse ways in which humans have made sense of this unsettling sleep experience. Section 7. Breaking free from the grip tips for reducing sleep paralysis episodes. While sleep paralysis can be a frightening experience, there are steps you can take to reduce the frequency and intensity of episodes. Here are some practical tips. Prioritize sleep hygiene. Maintain a regular sleep schedule even on weekends. Create a relaxing bedtime routine to signal your body that it's time to sleep. Create a conducive sleep environment. Make sure your bedroom is dark, quiet, and cool. Use blackout curtains, earplugs, or a white noise machine to minimize distractions. Manage stress. Engage in stress-reducing activities like yoga, meditation, or spending time in nature. Seek professional help if you are struggling with anxiety or stress. Avoid alcohol and drugs. Substance abuse can disrupt sleep patterns and increase the risk of sleep paralysis. Seek professional help. If sleep paralysis is frequent or severe, consult a sleep specialist or healthcare provider. They can help rule out any underlying medical conditions and recommend appropriate treatment options. Remember, knowledge is power. By understanding the science behind sleep paralysis and implementing these practical tips, you can regain control over your sleep and reduce the fear associated with this common sleep disorder. Section 8. You are not alone. Finding support and seeking help. It is important to remember that you are not alone in this experience. Millions of people worldwide experience sleep paralysis, and there are resources available to help you cope and find support. Talking to a therapist or counselor can provide you with coping mechanisms and strategies for managing anxiety related to sleep paralysis. Joining a support group, either online or in person, can connect you with others who understand what you're going through. Sharing experiences and advice can be incredibly empowering and can help alleviate feelings of isolation. If you're concerned about your sleep paralysis, or if it is significantly impacting your quality of life, do not hesitate to seek professional help. A sleep specialist or healthcare provider can assess your symptoms, rule out any underlying medical conditions, and recommend appropriate treatment options. Section 9. Reclaiming your sleep. A message of hope and empowerment. Sleep paralysis, while terrifying, is not a life sentence. By understanding the science, managing risk factors, and seeking support when needed, you can regain control over your sleep and reduce the fear associated with this common sleep disorder. Remember, knowledge is power. By implementing the tips outlined in this essay and seeking professional guidance when necessary, you can take proactive steps towards reclaiming your sleep and reducing the impact of sleep paralysis on your life. You are not alone in this journey, and with the right tools and support, you can overcome the fear and embrace restful nights